Happy Sunday. Today we are talking about peace. So when we think about the ultimate peace, the peace that really we need to get through the trials of life, the struggles, right? Think of John 14:27. So God's peace is what he gives to us, right? And this peace isn't like other peaces, right? It's the type of peace that allows you not to be troubled and not to be afraid and to continue on. And then when we think about verses like in Philippians 4:7, right? So God's peace like passeth all understanding, right? So it gives us such a different presence in the space of the world. So today I want to pick up the Bible and read a story from the Bible that really speaks to me of an example of what is God's peace when we really turn to God. So I am in Luke 2, and we're going to take a look at 41 through 49. So now his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover. And when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast. And when they had fulfilled the days as they returned, the child Jesus tarried behind in Jerusalem, and Joseph and his mother knew not of it. But they, supposing him to have been in company, went a day's journey, and they sought him amongst their kinsfolk and acquaintance. So what's happening here is Jesus and his parents, they head up for the Passover, and he stays behind. And here he's only 12 years old. So if you think of just being 12 years old, large city, lots of people, there's already this sense of this calm, of this peace that this child has with him. And where does that come from? He's going to let us know later on. And his parents, right, probably, my guess would be probably busy with the other children, with the busyness of the city. They lose track of him, and they find themselves a day away. And they're in the opposite of peace. That's why I think this is such a great example of God's peace, of being with us in peace and not, because they don't know where he's at. So now they're asking everyone, what did we do? Where could he be? And no one of their friends and acquaintance knows where he's at. So we have a great example of a young child at peace, apparently, in a really unknown city, and then also parents that are not in that same state. Okay. And it came to pass that after 3 days they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the doctors, both hearing and asking them questions. And all that heard him were astonished at his understanding and answers. And so here they find him after 3 days, right? So they were a day away. Then they come back and find him 3 days later. So it's been 4 days. So when you think about this child, you think about, well, where does he sleep? Where does he eat, right? He's found some sort of serenity, calmness, peace that we don't often see in others. And so this peace is going to come from God. And that's because he's going to be with the Father. And his parents, who, if you imagine them, poor parents, right, frantically searching for him, can't find him. And here he is sitting amongst all these doctors and what would be wise men, right, answering their questions, and they're amazed at his answers. So if you think about that level of adults sort of listening to a child and then taking it in and agreeing with the child and just being one and in unison with it, that's also pretty incredible. It paints a really big picture of what is like calmness, of this child just being in this city alone with all these adults having these conversations, and his parents frantically searching for him. And let's see what his parents' reactions are when they finally come to Jesus. And then ultimately I'll pause, and then we'll talk about what I think is his answer to why he's at such peace. And when they saw him, they were amazed. And his mother said unto him, Son, why hast thou thus dealt with us? Behold, thy father and I have sought thee sorrowing. So she's upset. She's like, what are you doing? We've been worried about you. We've been looking for you. And here's where we get our answer, is we're talking about peace and this type of calm, the peace that God gives us, the peace that passes all understanding. Where does that come from? Where Jesus is going to tell us that here in Luke 2, 49. This is what he says to his mother when she brings to him all of this chaos of being upset. And this is what he says when he's been at peace, where he's been at this city. He says, and he said unto them, how is it that ye sought me? Wist ye not that I must be about my Father's business? So, and that's the message for us as we go about our days, as we seek peace in our own lives, is don't worry about it. Just go about your Father's business. Make sure that your light shines. Make sure that you're not lukewarm, right? Don't be like Sadia, right? Make sure that you are shining for Christ and God. And then from that, the relationship and the fruit of the Spirit, the aspect we're talking about today, is going to be peace. And that peace can get you through the most chaotic, the most kind of crazy, the most unknown times. So, get your peace from the one who gives us such peace, the peace that doesn't trouble us and tells us not to be afraid. All right. Happy Sunday. Chatting at Cheesman. Hope you're having some peace.